Okay, today we were playing a game on Junkertown. We were in the Masters SR range, and we'll be playing Orisa the entire way through. And for once, we're not on the console. Isn't that incredible? So let's start the game. So we have to attack Junkertown first, which is laborious, shall we say. We're running double shield. We've got Toes and Orisa, but the enemy team have only got Toes, those fools. They've only got one barrier when we've got two. But they do have a Symmetra, which could make life difficult for us, as she does for most tanks, typically. At least we're not playing Toes, because, oh god, is it sad when you're playing Toes, and you use Kinetic Grasp, and she just walks up to you and starts lasering you. And then Zarya comes around the corner as well. It's the worst, dude. So, Zenyatta's trying to get some, picks with his volley. We're coming around to try and get him. Dropped kind of low, so we decided not to pursue further, but Hanzo finished him off. Hanzo then died to Symmetra. So, you know, that's a little upsetting. And here they come from behind us. Oh god, here comes... Alright, she's dead. She's dead. Widowmaker dealt with the Symmetra, so we didn't have to worry about it. Thank goodness. So things have been going pretty well so far. Widowmaker got some picks, and the enemy team was pretty spread out, so we didn't really have to do much except sit on the payload. And we darn well did our job right there. So Toes is going off pretty far ahead. Nerf Brig, yep, there we go. Nerf Brig just changed to Brig, so that's nice. Very questionable choice to make, changing to Brig when you're playing against double barrier, double sniper. But who am I to judge? You know, you can do whatever you want. But just, you know... It's questionable. It's a questionable choice to make. Toes is using Gravitic Flux. Oh, just barely didn't manage to finish off there. Orisa yanked Brig back through. She stunned us. Very unfortunate. Not the end of the world. We're pretty far back. And Toes is up there, which is inconvenient. We can't really, like, do too much about him right now. Brig was not allowed to be doing what she was doing right there. And they're just gonna stagger themselves a little bit now, because Toes and Orisa could have just died sooner to regroup with their team. They were never gonna hold it out here, but you know how people are. Well, I guess they have the Symmetra, so they were gonna get back a little bit faster, but... It wasn't super tenable, but they committed to it anyway. So this is a pretty scary thing to look at. Oh, there, Widowmaker got 2 kills on our team, so it's a bad start to this segment of the push right now. Oh god, here comes Symmetra. So we did have halt. We could have halted the Symmetra. This is basically the one thing we get to do if Symmetra is, like, running at us, right? We get to throw halt behind her to pull her back and slow her so that we can escape. That's it. We don't get much else. We can use, like, Fortify to try and fight her, but, you know, that's gonna be hard sometimes, Symmetra being rather small and hard to hit. Halt's, like, our one thing. Bongo's a little far forward, poking out of the doorway, a little bit more exposed than it could have been a little further in the doorway, because we aren't about to, like, round this corner anytime soon, really, I don't think. But they've got the thing is, Moira's pretty popular right now, so the Bongo is gonna have a lot of trouble surviving, when you can just coalesce straight through and destroy the Bongo. I do think that's actually fucked. I don't think that, coalescing should be allowed to damage the Bongo, because it's so free, dude. It's so free. If it's in line of sight, you're gonna get it. It's ridiculous. I actually don't think that's okay. As I like Moira a lot, but I don't think it should be able to do that. Classic Orisa fight right here. Our shield is in a less convenient place for shield dancing. We also decided to muscle in on their Orisa. Come on, YouTube, there you go. Oh, we got halted away as well. Yeah, no, our shield's not in a very good place, and we're just trying to, like, muscle in on her. But her team are, like, pretty fucking close, right? Like, they're gonna be coming around the corner soon, and our shield was in a suboptimal place. Would have been better being basically more looking down the staircase for that engagement, but sometimes when you've got a cooldown gated shield, life is difficult like that. So check these big brain Symmetra plays. Toes was just like, what the fuck was that? Right there. Brig didn't get the memo. She's still all the fuck way back there. We do have halt. We could have used halt. Oh, that's unfortunate. Could have used halt sooner to try and slow them down. Is what I was gonna say, but then we accidentally threw it in the wall. Feels bad, man. Don't do that. Don't throw it into the wall. And that's why they pay me the big bucks right there. Can't fade to safety now. So here comes Doomfist. How exciting for us. Doomfist's on the enemy team now. Brig does not know how to play Brig, but given that the person's name is Nerf Brig, they are probably firmly of the belief Brig is autopilot hold W mouse 1 kill enemy team. Which is what people thought Bridget was like before, and they were wrong, essentially. For all the cries about how overpowered Bridget was, it was strange how many bad Bridget players I saw. It was a lot, because they just run at your team holding W and mouse 1. You know, basically just like Reinhardt, which is very thematically appropriate for Bridget, isn't it? So, you know, not much to report right now. We're pretty much playing Orisa. We're just hoping that they don't 2CP us right there, and we got to shoot through the amplification matrix, which is very exciting. I went forward while this was going forward, and just look, oh my goodness, oh god, oh, such speed, wow. Alright, there we go, fantastic. Elevator music was playing in my head, don't worry about it. So I don't personally like standing up here. This is like, largely seems to be personal preference. I prefer to stand back under the second bridge and use that as a choke point, because of like this exact situation that's happening right now. Where if you're up by this bridge, you can get caught really badly, and now we're stuck over here because it was too dangerous to run back across to get to the bridge. But if you're over by the second bridge, you can just use either of the buildings as cover if you need to and retreat backwards. But if you're up there, you've got to cover the giant space between the two bridges to get back to safety. So I don't like standing up there, but a lot of people do like standing up there, so, you know. So Bastion's back, and boy are we gonna pray our absolute hardest right now. Run, run, oh god, oh Jesus. Oh, they gave up? Oh no, of course, they're right there. Oh, they gave up? Oh no, right, yeah. They're also pushing the payload, my bad. Yeah, I don't like being over there. It puts you in like such an awkward position if that kind of thing happens. And, I mean, you can be in a bad position anywhere, to be fair, on Junkertown, but I really don't like being over there. We sleep. We wake. They've got they don't have the Symmetra anymore. No, they don't have the Symmetra anymore. They do now have double barrier to go along with their Bastion. Tragically, we can't halt Bastion off of the payload anymore. Those were the glory days right there. Very upsetting if you're playing Toes and you use Gravitic Flux on Bastion, he stays in turret form. I'm not saying I think he should change out of turret form, it's just very upsetting when you use it on him and you just watch the turret go in the air. It's very upsetting. So this is ideal. Yep, there we go. Unfortunately, most of our team's dead, so by that point it's kind of already falling apart, but hey, he's on there, and we get to shoot through the fucking amplification matrix. That's, like, ideal situation, other than the fact that the rest of our team was dead. Other than that, it was pretty ideal, though. So, things are not going well, but, you know, when they're playing, there's always the ray of light, because if they're playing Bastion on attack, if you stop them once, you pretty much deal with the Bastion, because it's very hard to get it going a second time. We could have put our shield up right there to save, or try and save Mei, because Mei just got clapped by that boulder. Go back, because it was a little bit too far forward. Look. Mei got clapped in the face by that boulder, so she's now stunned in line of sight of the enemy team, and our shield just came up. We also had Fortify, correct? Come on. We also had Fortify, so, you know, our shield cooldown is not good right now. It's just barely not off cooldown. So we could body block for her with Fortify instead. Either way, Mei's stunned. She's really easy to kill right now. Especially when they're coming at you with a fucking Widow and a Bastion. And we could have attempted to save her. Bastion's sad. Nano-boosted tank in the Blizzard. So, there you go. All it takes is one. Chuck the Blizzard in there. Bastion's a sad boy. They even committed a bunch of ultimates to it. And they ended up losing the fight, which is ideal for us, very tragic for them. They still end up having ult advantage, though, unfortunately. Oh, fucking Ana was all the way back here. Well, Nerf Brig doing a fantastic job of staggering herself. Also, We Sleep. So, did they change off Bastion? Yes, they've gone back to Symmetra. Terrible news. Simply awful news. We've come so far, haven't we, as a species, where Symmetra is now, like, one of the most overpowered heroes in the game. Debatably, oh fuck, here he comes. Debatably the most overpowered hero in the game, but I personally hate Doomfist, so I would say he is more overpowered than Symmetra. Yes, because of personal bias, thank you very much. So, this very awkward situation we're having right now. Oh, fucking Orisa coming in, what a hero, body blocked for Symmetra. Symmetra died in the end anyway. I was convinced that was their Blizzard for some reason, and I was very sad about it, but no. They do not have the May. Orisa, what a hero. Actually came in and started body blocking. Oh. We didn't need to walk through our shield to do this. Good job, Orisa. Like, we could have been doing that behind the shield. Ana still had pretty far to go to get to safety. I think we had Halt Up as well. I'm not going to go back a second time, but I think we also had Halt Up that we could have used as well. And then we would not have exposed ourselves to the Widowmaker with our big, juicy melon head. So, things are going well now. We've got the ult advantage, but they're about to build up a few ultimates as well. You know, like, you can argue how good Infrasight and Photon Barrier are compared to Graviton and Bob, but you know, Bob's only okay. Valkyrie is very good though. We also don't have double shield anymore. Oh, but neither do they. Well, I guess they do have double shield technically, don't they? So this is very inconvenient, obviously. Oh god, she's even nano boosted. Oh Jesus Christ! Now this is true terror right here. And we're getting bullied so hard. Jesus Christ. This is just like the worst situation we could possibly be in. We're gonna go back just to appreciate how absolutely dreadful this is. Barrier completely blocking them. Sim's up on the high ground. They nano boost the Sim. And then we get her off, but oh fuck, the barrier's still here. Oh god, now Ana and fucking nano boosted Symmetra over there. We can't go in and get the Ana. Look at who's fucking next to her. Jesus Christ. Oh no. Absolute worst. Zarya's just like, stop the Symmetra. But the Symmetra doesn't stop. The Symmetra doesn't stop. Symmetra's still alive out there somewhere. Photon Barrier is very aggravating, isn't it? Basically the reason that fight was so difficult. While Nano Boosted Sim is always going to be scary, but just, man, when there's a 5,000 health shield covering, like, potentially breaking the map in half, you know? It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Anyway, we managed to hold them off, miraculously enough. And they haven't got too much time left. They've got maybe 2 pushes left, depending on how quickly they engage this fight. Both off-tanks decided to change to Roadhog suddenly, which is interesting. I guess just not expecting to get another Graviton built up in time, rather to change to somebody that has a more immediate impact. Because it's not like Roadhog super counters anybody on either team. I guess he could counter Mei, since he's got crowd control, but when I think of Mei counters, I don't exactly think of Roadhog, you know? Anyway, so there goes Bob. Bob's dead now, but Bob did kill Ana, so that in and of itself is kind of enough, because now their only healer is Mercy, who is going to struggle to keep up most of the time. But she did manage to build up Valkyrie, so now it's a lot easier for her. Oh god, not this again. Oh, Jesus. Oh, yep. Oh, but trying to body block for the, Batista. Batista did live. Yes, he did live, so it was worth it, because we didn't die either. Did we take that through the shield? I It's like, I think that's half through the shield. It's not the end of the world, really. Especially Roadhog's gonna break that shield. Oh, he's not. He actually doesn't care. He's pushing us back instead. That is fair enough. And it's not looking good for them at this point. Now they're in overtime. They just gotta touch the point and hope for the best, you know? Oh, difficult. Oh no, here comes Symmetra again. So this is, yeah, we correctly identify that these two people are fucking alone and don't have any cooldowns that are going to help them, so we go down and murder them. We can hear McCree now. Yeah, he kind of has to be down there if he's not anywhere else. I could see us pick up the mouse. Like, where is he? So, all in all, hey, it went pretty well. We didn't really have to do too much, thankfully. So, over in the email, we've got, how do you deal with Symmetra as Orisa? I took a break and I'm not used to playing around her yet. My thought on it is that we want to stay far away and on the high ground, so it's hard for her to charge her beam on my shield. That is basically it, yes. That's kind of your only option as Symmetra, outside of, you know, Halter and Killer, basically. Because she doesn't have any movement outside of the teleporter, so if you, like, catch her with Halt and, like, track well, you can potentially kill her before the slow wears off, but that's gonna vary a lot depending on what's happening in the fight as to whether it's particularly tenable to do that. As we saw, we halted her a couple of times. We didn't actually manage to kill her. Yeah, like, the thing is, basically, Symmetra is very difficult to deal with as a tank, pretty much. If you don't have crowd control, so Roadhog, it's going to be difficult for you to kill her. So you're basically just kind of hoping that somebody else does it. The main thing to worry about when you're playing a tank versus Symmetra is you are trying to make it so that she isn't just building 3 charge off of your shield constantly. But how possible that is depends on the map, you know? Because if we're on Junkertown, like, it's not really going to be that difficult for her to get to our shield and start building charge off of it. And if we're playing on, like, any 2CP map, basically, we have to sit real far back, because if we're, like, near the choke, it ends up being really easy for her to just kind of sit around the corner and build the charge off of it, so, like, Volskaya, I'm thinking specifically of Volskaya, because people like to stand next to the truck, and it is very easy for Symmetra to just keep, like, peeking the corner for a little bit behind her shield, just build up the charge, and then when she's at level 3, you just walk forward and just kill them all. It's very upsetting. Yeah, basically that's all you can do as Orisa. If she's going for one person, we can body block for them, because we got Fortify, which makes us one of the better people to be, like, taking Symmetra's damage, because we're going to reduce it by a fair chunk. Well, with the Fortify and the armor. But, that's kind of it. You can halt her. You can try and kill her. Body block for people. You're just trying to give her as little charge as possible. Usually it's going to be controlling the high ground as much as you can. But unfortunately, inevitably there will be a point where even if you're contesting the high ground, you're going to have to jump down. Sooner or later, if you're playing the tank, right? So, sooner or later, you're going to have to come down. And at that point, you know, you gotta put the shield where you gotta put it so that you can actually fight, right? So, once you've gotta jump down to, like, contest the point, you don't get a lot of choice in where you're gonna put your shield down anymore. So at that point, we're really just hoping that Symmetra's already not a problem anymore. But it's difficult as a tank. Orisa's probably one of the better ones to play against her, just because it's going to take her a while to kill you, pretty much. Reinhardt's actually pretty good, because if the Symmetra gets too close, you can beat her to death relatively easily. She can't fucking dodge this hammer, bro. But if you're playing, don't play Toes. Don't play Toes versus Symmetra. It's absolutely heartbreaking. And yeah, so that's kind of it. It's difficult. It's one of those situations where you are not given many options for dealing with her outside of the one that you listed right there, pretty much. Next up is, as Orisa, should I be trying to deal with people like the nerf Brig player who kept trying to flank and pick Zenyatta and get picks of Zenyatta and Ana, or should I ignore him and focus on main tanking? And of course, I'm sure this required context, so it would probably best to go example by example. So, I mean, don't mind that. So, like this one that happened over here. Oh, he did it before we got there, right? Because he went over here. I mean, you know, like, this is fine to do, this kind of thing, because, like, we haven't had to go out of our way, really, to do anything, you know? Like, we just got to, yank him back for free while we're still pushing anyway, and, like, maybe we kill him, you know? And then this one, also fair enough. We reach for him this time, because we end up straying pretty far away from the, well, the payload's right here. We leave the payload to actually go for him, but, like, we're still not going very far away, and, like, it's Zenyatta. He's a very important person to kill, he's very easy to kill, so if you don't have to go too out of your way, it's pretty much always going to be worth the attempt, at least. When you're playing the main tank, you pretty much don't want to have to go off and deal with, like, flankers. Ideally, the off-tank is dealing with that. But if it's, like, those kinds of situations, it's not really a big deal. Sure, it's fine to go for it. It's like, you know, if Tracer is, like, blinking around behind your team, you know, you as Orisa don't have much obligation to deal with that. You're meant to be dealing with the front line as much as you can. But someone going for, like, what Zenyatta and, Ana did, where they're basically going for, like, the soft flank, where they just go, like, through a doorway nearby to try and get a different angle behind the shield. You're not really going to have to go out of your way. You're pretty frontline adjacent, and with halt, you can pull them back around corners. The people going for that kind of maneuver are typically very immobile, so it's pretty much fine to do as long as you don't have to go particularly out of your way. As long as you're still, like, frontline adjacent, you can still be doing your job at the same time. You do have more freedom to kind of go off and do that kind of thing as Orisa as well, because your shield is stationary. You can actually put it down, go do something else, and as long as you're back before your shield, like, breaks and your team gets killed, it's like you never left at all, dude. It's like you never left at all. So, there you go. That's basically what I got for you on that one. So thank you very much for watching if you did. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. If you felt I answered your questions from the email inadequately, please let me know and I will try to expand further. If you haven't already, you can join our Discord and ask questions more directly and have a conversation about them, or just shitpost with us. I've started streaming on Twitch Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 8 p.m. EST till midnight EST. There's a link to the channel in the description. And if you managed to make it all the way through the video and somehow still enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe for more content of middling quality in the future. And I hope you found the video